All right. Good afternoon. It's 2 p.m. in the Boston area, 7 p.m. in Ghana. And as usual, we bring you the assembly. My name is Ayur Inga Agana. Today, we are fortunate to have an incoming first term MP. Uh, he is the MP for Navrongo Central, Honorable Simon Akinbange Aworigo. Um, Honorable, yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your very decisive win.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Um, all glory to God. Um, that's all I can say. But thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about what's at stake in the sort of ninth parliament. And also we will delve into the Honorable's vision for the people of Navrongo Central. I happen to have an experience with Navrongo. I spent 6 years in Navrongo. I went to Notre
Wow.
Dame JSS and SS. So I'm quite familiar with the place. I consider it as sort of a second constituency for me. And so we will go into details of, conditions in the constituency and what your vision is for your first term and hopefully your long-term vision for the area. Um, but before we delve into the specifics of the constituency, I want us to look at the NDC's win in general, right? In terms of the parliamentary win, it was quite decisive. You have close to two-thirds majority so far. There are certain outstanding constituencies that are yet, there's some contention. I think there was a court case that was, adjudicated on today that those constituencies have to be recollated. And so we don't have the exact number of seats that you have won so far. But, given the ones that have been concluded, the margin is about two-thirds, right? So let me begin from there. With this sort of clear majority in parliament, what do you think are going to be the priorities of the NDC in sort of the legislative aspect of our democratic dispensation or your governance, ambition, basically?
Thank you very much, my brother. Let me begin by thanking the Almighty Lord for His grace and favor upon us, and especially upon me. It is only the hand of God and the grace of God that's brought us this far. Um, it would be remiss of me if I don't also thank the people of Navrongo Central for doing me the honor by voting for me to represent them in Parliament. I say thank you to the chiefs, um, the landlords, market women, teachers, students, and the many people who are constituents and residents of Navrongo Central who voted for not just for me to become a member of parliament, but also for my presidential candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who also won by 57%. So I will begin by thanking them for doing us and doing the country that great service, because uh, as you know and I know, the country was just heading the wrong way. It was going downhill, and we really needed to rescue this country and reset it. And so let me thank them. What do I think about the governance of the incoming NDC administration? I expect nothing less of a governance that's put Ghana first, a governance that respect Ghanaians, that know what the issues are, and so we'll work to address those issues, the issues of unemployment, the issues of price instability, the issues of inflation, the issues of foreign exchange deterioration, and the issue of lack of fertilizer, the issue of deteriorating um, school administrative systems, and all of that. These are the many issues that I look forward to the John Mahama government fixing for Ghanaians. Of course, it is the reason why they voted for us, and I foresee us working to address them. I don't think it's going to be a quick fix. It's going to take time because the deterioration has gone on for 8 years. And so I know Ghanaians will be patient with us even as we work to get our country back on track.
Okay. Well, I mean, you mentioned that the win was decisive. You sort of mentioned the percent margin of the win, but there are others that have said that the NDC only added about 100,000 votes to what they got in 2020, and that the mandate is more sort of humbling than most people who are victorious about the NDC's win are proclaiming, and that it's a cautious mandate, and that electorates are not going to tolerate any slightest, if you like, unfulfilled promises, so to speak. So, what do you
Thank you
say
very
to
much.
that? Yeah.
Thank you. If you've been following Ghanaian elections for a long time, you can tell, and I'm sure you'd have heard from many protesters that it is a historic win, and it doesn't matter whichever way you want to look at the coin, flip it backwards, forwards, upside down, whichever way, the story still remains the same. It is a victory that is historic. And whether you want to look at it from the voter apathy side, you want to look at it from the fact that people were disappointed and disenchanted about the mismanagement and misrule of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government. The story is still that we have won by a big margin. Voter apathy is another way of people expressing their dissatisfaction about government. And so we might not have added on that hundreds and that many votes, as you are saying in this discussion. The fact remains that Ghanaians have expressed themselves in many ways. In a typical stronghold of the NPP, you don't expect them to come out and vote overwhelming numbers. But for the first time in Ashanti region, our numbers were great and very, very consoling, even exceeding what we expected to get in Ashanti region. Same in the eastern region, other parts of the country. What I can say we gather from the election results is that we have been given a duty that we have to take very seriously, a duty that Ghanaians have put all their trust in us and that we cannot afford to fail them. We have to work with humility. We have to work with all the seriousness, knowing very well that they have put all their hopes in us and we cannot fail them. It's also a lesson for us to know that Ghanaians have got to a point where if you take them for granted, they vote you out. And that no amount of money can change their minds when you mistreat them and misgovern for all these years and think that you can go out there and pour money and then all of a sudden you can buy their votes. They have shown. They started with a send-off where they show that they have come to a place where they put their future first. They put what is ahead of them than the immediate gain and than this small gift they give to them. That is what we will learn from this victory. But for the victory itself, it's decisive and there can be no contestation about it.
Okay. All right. So now let's move to Navrongo Central. So you are a first-term MP. You beat a certain MP in the primaries, the NDC primaries, to then represent the NDC in the general election and won very decisively. What would you say are your top 3 priority areas in terms of your leadership role for the people of Navrongo Central?
Thank you very much. I am glad you said you consider Navrongo Central as your second constituency. You spent 6 years in Navrongo. So whatever I'm going to say are not going to be things that you are not aware of. There are things that you know that there are challenges we need to fix in Navrongo Central, and some of which are the reasons they voted for me to help fix them. I again will thank them for selecting me because I wasn't the only person in the race, but they considered me worthy, they considered me trustworthy to be able to help us on that journey to get to where we want to get to. Employment is a key thing. Navrongo is considered as an education hub in the northern part of our country, particularly in the upper region, now Upper East. If you look at the educational institutions in the various constituencies, you realize our district, Navrongo Central, has a lot of them. We have a university, we have a teacher, a college of education, used to be called a teacher training college. We have nursing training college. We have about 5 secondary schools and many basic schools. And so we churn out a lot of graduates every year. And most of these graduates are unemployed. And those who are employed are underemployed. And so my initial preoccupation will be to look at how we can get jobs, help them to get jobs so they can earn a living and then support their families back home. That would be my preoccupation. In fact, you look at the unemployment rate in Ghana, and you will agree with me that as of the last time the Ghana Statistical Service gave them, because unemployment stood at around 14%. That's a whooping percentage. And we have a youthful population. And so I have a chunk of that coming from Navrongo Central. And so I'll be looking at what job avenues will be available.
But have you identified any job areas that you could potentially tap into?
Talking to young people, most of the young people, most of them want to be in the security services. That's an area we can look into. If you look at the 24-hour economy, I mean, we are hoping to employ over 24,000 service persons into our security services. And I look forward to being able to help some of them get into the security services. And I know you know what I mean by the security service. I mean everything about our security services. Apart from that, there are other avenues, teaching service, and many areas of our economy, the banking sector, and
Okay, we have a challenge with the internet.
and then with the fact that most of the produce from agriculture will be bought by the government to feed our institutions.
Okay, so Honorable, we lost you.
The young people.
We lost you for.
Central. These are areas that I am looking at. Our market women, and Navrongo is a very bustling business area where.
Okay, we lost him. Okay.
Love when I wanna get another one, I go take and do waiting I love, waiting you love, oh, maybe waiting I love, oh, waiting I love, I go do what we done right, oh, go no be vodka, Mr. Money Changer, but I know the ways that Mr.
That dream of studying and working abroad has been made much accessible to everyone, including you. So worry less about how you're going to get there, because we always make it happen. This is Staff Finders Ghana Limited. We offer a highly professional guidance and support system, both in your university and visa application process. Staff Finders Ghana Limited is a highly trusted agency of the University of the West of Scotland, one of the largest modern universities offering a range of academic, social, and sporting facilities. You can apply for undergraduate, master's and PhD in business and creative industries, education, social sciences, computing, engineering, physical sciences, health, and life sciences. Come through Staff Finders, and for your studies, you get yourself a laptop or a £500 gift voucher. Call on +233 598 4888 04. WhatsApp on +44 7404 711 049. Send us an email or visit our website for more information.
You let a yum 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 yum. Na yela pere say. Il had a yummy, 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 yummy. Nayela pere, muna kapela, chora kakisa, bayari hela pere, balunga na baire, tupa ani, imping tuna, masanta tapage, bayu tutele, masankele yura, babantu biyara, bayari hela pere, bonga na baire, tupa ani, asikul tuna. Kine, kile sikuga kine, chitatia, undile sikuga tia, satasua, nzadile sikuga sua, korakua, nkole sikuga kua, sorasua, nsole sikuga sua, tinayele peri, chora kaki.
Hello.
Okay, all right. So we are back. Well, yes, this is one of the challenges of doing it virtually. Yeah. Okay. So I think we are back. Yes.
So I think I was okay. So I think we're
Yeah.
on what would be my 3 key areas that I want to help the people of Navrongo Central. And I spoke about employment in the formal sector. I talked about the youth. Most of the youth I've spoken to interested in the security services. I talked about other sectors of the economy, the banking sector, I mean, all other formal sectors, whether jobs, teaching, and all that. So we'll be looking into that, our health sectors, where they need nurses, doctors, and all of that. And then also I spoke about agriculture, where we can support them in farming through this Farmer Service Center, which we have in our manifesto, and we look forward to implementing if His Excellency John Dramani Mahama takes office. And then I spoke about supporting our market women who are into business. So those will be the key areas. But then there will still be other areas that where we can look at help.
Okay. So, I mean, there are many that say that our public sector is overbloated and that we need to harness sort of employment from the private sector. I remember when we were growing up, Navrongo was a hub of vibrant agriculture. With the Tono Dam, irrigation was booming. We were students in Notre Dame, and Notre Dame had a farm at Tono. And whenever we were going to school, we were required to come with certain farm tools. I remember my first time in Notre Dame, we were supposed to go with a sickle. We went and harvested rice for the school. So it was a vibrant agricultural place, but that has slowed. So is there any, do you have any intentions of perhaps, lobbying to rejuvenate the Tono irrigation project to the scale that it was maybe 2 decades ago?
Yes, so that's an area that catches my attention a lot. Like I said, I'm looking forward to become not just encouraging people to do it, but also doing it myself, leading the way and doing it myself. I mean, agriculture. He said, get vegetable, not just to feed the people, but even the region and beyond. And that's what it did. Unfortunately, there have been neglects. I'm sure, I know you're far away in America, but I've heard about the issue of Ligam, the man who was the director for the irrigation project and where water was not getting to most parts of the irrigation project. I'm sure, by the grace of God, if His Excellency takes office, we'll get a new MD who will ensure that the irrigation project works very well and water gets to everywhere. Where there's the need for reconstruction, where there's the need for investment in the area, that will be done. And before the office, he had a project of the tunnel. It was project. We lost power, so that wasn't continued by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government in the last 8 hours. In the last 8 years, we're looking forward to this administration continuing where they left off. The farmer service. I know about ICO, where they had all these farm machines and all of that's gonna come back in the form of a farmers service center, and then many people will have the opportunity of having water in all areas of the irrigation land area, so that we can produce more. So Navasco and all other schools that want to go back in there like your days, which you are missing now, I'm sure if we get everything right, they can go back there and then we can feed our schools again. Children will not go back home ending up in hospitals and all of that. That's what we're looking forward to do in terms of agriculture. I've been doing provided a lot of boreholes. We look to continue doing that. In fact, even as I am here, we have borehole projects going on. We've done a lot of last 2-3 days. We carried out a lot of repairs. What I've also promised to do will be to have a lot of boreholes for gardening, small scale farming, to boost agriculture. Ways that I think will help, so that if we can have mechanized boreholes, rely on the irrigation project, because it won't be enough for everyone, but looking to expand agriculture within the constituency. It's a major income source of employment for most of the people.
Oh, okay. So, but I informed some of my colleagues, my friends who are from Navrongo, that I'm interviewing their MP today, and one of the issues that they brought up was with respect to the mass exodus of young people out of the area. I mean, I guess it's connected to employment, but are there other maybe social areas where you feel that needs to be strengthened to, continue to sustain the population in the area, rather than have young people migrate to down south and other parts of the country where their living conditions are, far more deplorable than if they stayed back at home? So just beyond the employment, but this is something that somebody brought up, and they think it's a problem for the area.
That's true, and that's what for the community or the constituency to develop. Mostly depends on them moving out into, urban areas and looking for and all of that is very worrying. We want to have them home and then contribute to the economy. Like you said, socially, we can be looking at developing possibly our sports. Many young people have talents that want to develop. Unfortunately, our stadium, which is also called the Navrongo, last 8 years, we were told that it was going to be completed. Unfortunately, that did not see the light of. I'm looking forward to be able to lobby and speak to the incoming sports minister, so that how we can fix that. Quite apart from that, how can we get our kids to focus on education? How can we strengthen our educational system so that kids don't just leave school and go to the south, focus on completing school and even moving on? Can we get scholarships for? I spoke with a young lady, who has been go to pursue pharmacy, and they actually visited her. I was impressed. This when we met, I was very happy. She very points. It tells you the amount of talent and how great some of these young people can become. This and all kinds of menial jobs in the south. And so we'll look at how socially we can keep them at home and get the best out of them to develop the program.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like the sports dimension, because I remember the likes of Abuga Pele and co. There was a vibrant sports team in Navrongo. Navasco
That's right.
was always had one of the best teams in the Upper East region when it came to sports. So I think that's an area that you could definitely tap into to build some talent, if not for the region, but for the entire country, in terms of our national team and our youth teams and stuff like that.
talking about that, there's a young guy who is a coach. He's got a team. I think they're Division 2.
Honorable, if you
or so
could move
team.
forward a little bit for us so that we can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay. Yes.
Is that
Yeah,
okay? Great.
yeah,
So
that's
talking
audible
about
enough.
sports, there's a young guy. His name is Mboma. He's got a Mboma FC. I don't know whether you heard about them. They won the Upper East Youth competition. I think it was Division 2 or so. They're doing very well. Just 2 days ago or days ago.
Okay. All right, we're having challenges with our internet.
I have a lot of
Okay. Okay.
They hear what the people they talk. What you get, I shall kill it till love. See love when I wanna get another one. I go take and do waiting I love, waiting you love. Oh, no be waiting I love. Oh, waiting I love. I go do what we love. I go no be vodka. Mr. Money Changer, but when I know the waste time.
Okay. Yeah, we're still having. Okay. All right. Honorable, our internet is not treating us right this afternoon, but we'll manage. Yes. Yeah. So you were talking about Mboma and the sports thing going on in
yes,
in
and yes, and I'm saying that the Mboma FC, they have a guy who plays for the club, but he's a medical doctor. He's not a medical doctor. He's a medical school, and I was impressed to see that. The others who are also in universities pursuing various disciplines, they had somebody from Europe coming to visit them, and then they engaged in a very positive way. And so the role of sports in keeping our young people, keeping their heads down, keeping them disciplined, so they can contribute to the development of Navrongo and other parts of our country. It cannot be overemphasized. That's an area I want to put my strength and energy in. As a young person, I know you understand why I'll be interested in sports. So yes,
definitely.
We're looking to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Now, again, this is a question from one of my friends who is also from Navrongo. He wants you to address the condition of the Navrongo hospital. According to him, the state of the condition of the hospital is not unlike what it was when we were students in Notre Dame. So I don't know if that concern has come to you and if there's any plans in that direction.
Thank you very much. I thank him very much for that question. It is something that is dear to my heart. I have had the opportunity of visiting the hospital on several occasions. I've made a few donations to the male ward, the kids ward, and other departments or wards of the hospital. It's such a state, and I think that Navrongo has grown beyond that hospital. We're looking at expanding it. On one of the visits of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to the constituency, myself and other people had the opportunity of putting before him the need to upgrade our hospital into a teaching hospital. And fortunately for us, when we're writing the NDC's manifesto, Navrongo Hospital was the only hospital that is specifically mentioned in our manifesto to be upgraded into a teaching hospital where we can train medical doctors and where it will be upgraded. And so I can assure him that knowing His Excellency Dramani Mahama as he is, and knowing the NDC, whatever we say, we do. By the grace of God, if government takes off and all goes well, we should be looking forward to an improved, enhanced, upgraded Navrongo Teaching Hospital, where our health care can return back to even better than what it was and what he knew in those days. I am looking forward to that, because that's where we all go to seek healthcare. I mean, either it's yourself or as a family member or people who live and work in Navrongo, all of that. That's where we go to seek medical care. But we have a university there. We're looking to start a medical school, and Navrongo Hospital will be upgraded to a standard.
Okay.
That's where it should be.
Yeah. So, but and then you mentioned the issue of education. You know, Navrongo pretty much is the education hub of the Upper East. It can compete for that position the entire North, right? Given the fact that, of course, we have UDS, we have the teachers training college, we have a lot of secondary schools around. I mean, but is there a way to really, you know, exploit that as a source of education tourism, and also to think about other areas of employment that can tap into that human resource that is being produced from these institutions? Again, I'm concerned about employment issues and the fact that we tend to focus a lot or depend a lot on government as this key employer, right? Over the years, it's education, right? Either teaching, the ministries, or Navrongo Health Research. And I don't know the state of Navrongo Health Research today, but it used to be a big employer of most recent graduates. Even people from high schools used to work there. But if you haven't thought about it, I'm thinking about how the educationals or the products of these educational institutes can be utilized in generating jobs in the area.
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. I have been thinking about that, and I've had several discussions on that with other stakeholders. Navrongo has a lot of academic institutions, but if you ask me, the state of them is not good enough. I think that for the last 8 years, there have been a lot of neglect. You visit some of the schools, and you see that most of the infrastructure is decaying. And most of the schools don't even have where they cook. It's very bad. They don't have proper dining halls for them to sit in. Even I went to a school where the dining hall has been converted into a classroom. You know, you go to the kitchen, and the kitchen where they cook, when it rains, it just pours into the kitchen, and so cooking has to stop. I mean, it's such a state. We, as a member of parliament for Navrongo Central, by the grace of God, I'm sworn in, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama takes office. The education minister will be seeing me a lot, because we don't want to allow it to deteriorate. We want to be able to complete all the infrastructure that was started before 2016 that has been neglected for the last 8 years. We want to build more. I mean, we want to UDS, CKT, UTAS. Should not just be what it is. We need to expand the infrastructure, and so there will be a lot that will be done in that area. So we can make Navrongo, even more institutions, expansion, all of that. How do we benefit from all this human resource we are training in Navrongo? They're all going out. I've always been thinking about local content, where most of those who are trained in Navrongo, can we retain some of them? Can we give them jobs to work there, so that we also benefit from the knowledge and the skills that they come to acquire from our institutions? That is how we can develop the local economy and develop Navrongo. That's the benefit the local people also get. Educational tourism, yes, but until we develop our roads and develop our institutions to a standard where somebody will want to leave Accra and come all the way to come and see Navrongo Secondary School, where some of these great guys attended, which has a name, nationally. You talk about Navrongo Secondary School, and everybody knows about it. You talk about Notre Dame, and of course, everybody knows about Notre Dame. You know, I remember when parents used to send their wards to Navrongo to attend school. I know it still happens, but whether it still happens at that level when you were a student or not, I do not know. But we really need to get that. So that's something that catches my attention. Work, like in your earlier question, when I was answering your question, I said about agriculture. That's an area that I think can give a lot of employment. And so we need to let people understand that agriculture is a major source of employer, and all we need to do is provide the support that they need to get into agriculture, because it's become a bit expensive as well. Fertilizer is very expensive to buy. A bag of fertilizer sells around, I think around 400 and something or more. I'm not too sure, but it's very expensive. And so that's why we're interested in the Farmer Service Center, where equipment, fertilizer, and all that seedlings will be available. I am sure it is the reason why most people are not going into agriculture, or they're going to very small scale agriculture. If we make all this available to them, they'll be able to go into agriculture. A lot of young people want to go into agriculture, but then they don't have the support. But then the NDC government to provide that support and provide the market for the farm produce, and I'm sure we'll be fine. So I have said to you that earlier on that I want to become a farmer. I am looking forward to become a very big farmer, and so I am sure by doing that I'll lead the way. And you see your MP going into farming, I'm sure it will encourage you to also go into farming.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about the Upper East region, right? And the unity of the region for the overall development of the region. And of course, I grew up there, and there've been various lines of division across the various, maybe constituencies. One thing that comes to mind is the issue of the location of the airport, right? When we were in JSS, there were conversations about constructing an airport in the Upper East region. It was said a location had been identified, and 20 years later, we are still having these conversations about siting the airport. Now, there are people who have argued that there is an airstrip in Paga, and that should be the location of a potential new airport. Others have argued that it should be located in Bolga, for the reason that Bolga is the regional capital, among the fact that it's also more centrally located, right? But the majority of people just want an airport for the area so that they don't have to travel to Tamale and then take 2 hours by road to get home.
Sure.
What is your position, or have you thought about this? And how are you going to work together with your colleague MPs in the area to bring a finality to this particular issue?
Thank you very much. I think it is an area that draws a lot of passion from a lot of people in the region. And I can only say that we are better together than competing amongst ourselves and in the end not getting it at all.
Yeah.
So we better understand that it serves our interest most if we come together and agree that we want to have an airport in the region which will serve us. I'm sure you'll agree with me that it is much shorter to travel from Navrongo to any part of the region to catch a flight than it is to travel from Navrongo to Tamale.
Yeah.
And so if we agree on that, then that should be the guiding principle, that we want an airport in the region so our lives can be easier. So we don't have to get up and travel about 4 hours, 3 hours and so to go and catch a flight. It makes life so for me that would be the key thing. We are one people. It's going to be one airport. We can't all have the airport. It has to be sited in the one place. And so let it go to where we all sit at the table and agree that this is where it should go. I am an MP for Navrongo Central. And so I'll make a strong case for it to be in Navrongo Central. And you'll agree with me why I will do that. Because I am supposed to bring development to my people. Knowing very well that if an airport comes to Navrongo, it will bring jobs, it will make life easier. People will come, through and buy things in terms of growing the local economy. And so all these are things that you take into consideration why you want the airport to be in your constituency. But that should not overshadow the overall or overarching interest of having an airport in the region. And so when we sit to talk about these things, we should be guided by the fact that it serves us better wherever it is in the region than not having an airport at all.
Yeah. So I will throw that challenge to you, and hopefully I would get to talk to your colleague MPs from the region, and that you guys should come together and conclude on this matter so that we won't be ridiculed by our our detractors to the west.
That's right.
You know, the upper west people have been making fun of us that we don't have an airport, and that, you know, they are our superiors. So I
And it's
think that
very
you guys
shameful. They are the youngest region, and yet they have an airport, and we don't.
airport, yeah, exactly.
It's very shameful. I think we have to do something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But also, even in terms of overall peace in the area, again, there have been a few, you know, civil stripes or, you know, lines of conflict among various groups in the area. And I don't know, again, if you've thought about that, but it's an area that I would encourage that it should be looked at.
Oh yes, it's very important because there cannot be development in the face of conflict. Where there are conflicts, development stalls. Um, People's lives are affected. There's people's life they are destabilized, and it's just not. It's too chaotic for any good thing to happen. And so we should be working towards peace. And we've had peace anytime the NDC is in power. We always had relative peace. Comparatively, it's always peaceful. So there's a reason why. I mean, and these are borne out by the facts that anytime the NDP is in power, we have all these chieftaincy disputes and all this tension within not just only in Napa East but other parts of the country. I look forward to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and all stakeholders in the region. Sitting around the table and looking at these conflicts and how we can resolve them. It is doable because it's been done before. I mean, you and I know that the thing that happened that shouldn't have happened, and that led to all this. And so those things should be stopped. They shouldn't be allowed to happen. If people are not supposed to be made something, don't make them and don't create problems for people in the region. And then innocent people get trapped and get killed in the process, and that's not good. So I know for sure that there will be something will be worked out. There have been several visits to that part of the region. Elections were held peacefully. The MP for Boko is a very strong man, a very intelligent, he's capable of handling these issues, and I have every confidence in him that in this government, the matter will be resolved.
Okay. So, being a first-term MP, you've espoused a lot of ambitious areas of development that you wish to embark on. But we know that you're a first-term MP. When it comes to Parliament, there are issues of seniority. What potential challenges do you envision, and how do you think you can surmount these challenges to get what you want for your constituents?
There's one thing I don't take in life, and that is it is not possible. For me, it is always possible. It is always possible. It's all about determination.
Be careful of the term "it is possible."
No, not that. Not
okay.
That possible. No, not that one. The proper possible.
Okay.
Proper possible. That one has been. We've already showed that is not possible. So that one is not. It doesn't exist anymore. So you have to. Ghanaians have shown them that's not possible with them. So you have to be determined in everything that you do. As a first MP, I know very well that there'll be seniors, there'll be people I need to liaise with. I need to listen more, interact more, build a relationship with people who can help to get the things that I need. Where I need to get the people who matter to go to which office. We need to do that. At the end of the day, I am very convinced that we will leave Navrongo better than where we found it. I am very convinced and hopeful that a lot of things will be done. It won't take one day. It'll take time, but there'll be progress. There'll be development, and we'll see a lot of changes. So, I'll knock on doors. And I've started talking to people. The job has started already. Even before I'm sworn in, I've started talking to people. I've started mentioning areas that I think I will need help. So I can assure you that when you come home to Navrongo, you come and meet Navrongo where things are beginning to change for the good.
Yeah. Well, there's a very popular story about an MP who was admonished by his constituents that since he went to Parliament, they never heard him speak. And he said the seat that was assigned to him was behind a pillar, the main pillar in Parliament, and that that blocked his view from the speaker, and he never called him to speak. So perhaps, be careful what seat you take in Parliament when you go.
You journalists, you are something. I hear you, but I won't say anything about pillar and that. But what I can say is that wherever I sit, I'll represent. I'll give the people on the Navrongo Central quality representation. My voice will be heard. Their issues will be raised on the floor of the House. I am a former communication officer for the UK Ireland chapter. I love the media. I love talking to the media. I love being heard. And so, in fact, I had the opportunity of visiting Parliament House today. We had an unofficial kind of induction, and I was shown the table office and where if you want to file a document and all of that. And I took interest in that. And I told the lady who took me around that she should be ready for me. I'll be filing a lot of questions. I'll be making a lot of agent statements and all of that. So they will hear from me. They will hear Navrongo will not be the constituency that will go quiet. No. We'll be in the news. I'll be talking for good reasons. Because that's what I left the UK to come and do.
Okay.
To represent the people of Navrongo in Parliament. And
Okay.
so if I fail to do that, then I've not wasted my time.
Yeah. In fact, that's a segue into my next question, which has to do with the role of the diaspora. Of course, you just mentioned that you were a former communications officer for the NDC NDC UK Ireland branch.
Chapter.
But chapter. So, do you have any plans of incorporating the diaspora into some of these development ideas that you have with respect to Navrongo Central, right? Because there's a diaspora that cuts across every ethnicity everywhere in the world. And so most of them have organizations, others do not. Is this something that you're hoping to tap into?
I have already started that. I've spoken to a couple of people. People have expressed interest in areas that they can support us. And that is part of the advantage that I bring to the table. The fact that I am not only be looking at people or looking for people who can help us from within, but I'm also looking at people who can help us from outside of Ghana. The UK and Ireland is home to me. And so I have two homes. I have Navrongo Central, Ghana, and I have the UK Ireland chapter. And there are many people there. In fact, during the parliamentary contest, I had a lot of support from members of the chapter. And they are ready to continue supporting in many ways. I had the German chapter who also came around and wanted to support and all of that. I'll be coming to the USA, and I'm sure you'll be there. And I look forward to you helping me and leading me to the right places so I can bring development to Navrongo, which you consider as your second home.
Yeah.
So we'll work together in the diaspora to meet with organizations and individuals who can help to get the development that we need for the people of Navrongo Central.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about the general expectations of a constituents from their MPs. We've heard stories of MPs having constituents come into their homes to ask for school fees, in some cases to ask for money to pay bride prices. And for me, it almost feels like most constituents do not really understand the responsibilities of a member of parliament. I don't know if, and I've asked this question before, whether it is the case that it's the MPs that have created that misconception, or it is that our people are not well educated on what the roles of an MP is, and so they come to them with these very personalized demands. So again, as a first-term MP, do you have concerns about those challenges, and how do you think you are going to address them?
Well, thank you very much. I do have concerns about that, but the thing is, we've been dealing with these things even as parliamentary candidates. Even before you become a parliamentary candidate, you deal with these things, and I don't think it will be any different. It might get a bit more because now you're on the seat and they expect you to do more. But then there's one thing that I always work on. honesty, sincerity, truthfulness. That has always been my guiding principle in life. If you can help, you help. If you cannot help, you let them know that you cannot help at this point in time. Maybe at a certain point in time you can help. Why is it that they come to us? They come to you because things are hard. If they could do it, they won't come to you. And so if we build an economy where people have jobs, where people don't have to struggle to get some things, they won't come to you. But where you have a situation where young people are unemployed, parents cannot afford food for children, clothes for children, roads are bad, and everything is bad, then you become the only person and the only hope. And so everybody come to you. That's why there's the need for us to create employment for the people, so that they won't come to you, but then they can support themselves. So, but if we are able to support, in fact, for me in life, there's nothing more rewarding. There's nothing more fulfilling than being able to help people who are in a situation where they need help. I find very enjoying. I really enjoy it. Except that you won't be able to do for everyone. But you do as much as you can. Those that you cannot do for them, you tell them you wish you could do it, but unfortunately, you don't have the resources to be able to do it, and you'll be fine. Okay. I don't see it as a problem at all. You do what you can, but just be sincere. Don't tell them to come tomorrow when you know tomorrow if they come, there won't be anything there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. But do you think there should be a broader effort to really make constituents understand, or perhaps you MPs have to conduct yourself in a different way to reset the system where they know that these are the responsibilities of an MP, and that, because I mean, why I'm saying this is because it introduces money into our politics, where people literally have to pay their way to parliament because of all these expectations. Not that it's a bad thing to do things for your constituents, but it's leading to sort of a degeneration of our politics, where people would look for money from all sorts of places just to buy their way into parliament, which, in my opinion, as a die-hard Democrat, I'm concerned about.
That's very true. But then I am also a die-hard Democrat. But look at it this way: that you want to juxtapose that with the economic situation of the people you are leading or you are representing in parliament. They don't come to you because they love doing that. They come to you because things are hard. And so, like I said, it begins by fixing the economy. Once you fix the economy and people have jobs and all of that, and their standard of living improves, the living conditions improve, then the number of people who come to you begin to go down. And so once we fix the economy, they'll be fine. Yes, it is to go and legislate and represent them and pass laws. Yes, that's the primary duty of a legislator or a member of parliament. But, where you sit in the US, in the UK, in the Western world, it's different. Our politics have taken off in a certain way, and I agree with you that we need to bring it back to a certain line where these things begin to go down, and then the legislative part of it begins to go up. It's going to take time. We need to be patient, even as we work towards that part.
Okay, so Honorable Simon Akinbange Aworigo, give us your concluding remarks.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, so if you have any.
My concluding remarks will be that I thank you very much for this opportunity. I thank the people of Navrongo Central for electing me to represent them in Parliament. I don't take it for granted at all. I know it's a very huge task that they've put on me. I work with all the energy in me. I work with whatever that I can find to help them to develop Navrongo Central and then to move it forward. I want to serve them with humility. I want to serve them with everything that we can do to move Navrongo forward. Let's keep talking, let's keep engaging, and let's look forward to the future, hoping that things will get better with the new John Mahama-led NDC government. Once again, I wish the people of Navrongo Central a happy New Year.
All right. So, Honorable, once again, thanks a lot for honoring our invitation. Congratulations once again, and I wish you all the best as you take your seat in the August House of Ghana's 9th Parliament.
Pleasure is mine.
And-
Thank you very much.
All right.
Anyway,
And yes, and to our viewers, thanks for joining us once again. And then hopefully we'll come your way again next week, Saturday. I don't know who our guest is, but I promise that it's going to be a lively conversation as usual. So have a good rest of the weekend. And until the same time next week, I'd say goodbye.